Tuesday temporarily blocked part of the Trump administration's sweeping directive to pause federal loans, grants and other financial assistance. In a Washington, D.C. federal court hearing, U.S. District Judge Lauren Ali Khan ordered the White House to not block funding to existing programs until February 3rd, a win for advocacy groups who said the policy would be devastating. President Donald Trump's White House ordered billions of dollars of federal grants and loans to be frozen, which could disrupt education and healthcare programs, disaster relief, and other initiatives. Earlier on Tuesday, a coalition of attorneys general announced they would sue Trump's pause of federal funding. 6 states, including New York, Massachusetts, and California, said the lawsuit was meant to preserve essential funding for Americans. Here's California's Rob Banter.
We will not stand by while the president attempts to disrupt vital programs that feed our kids, provide medical care to our families, and support housing in our communities. We won't stand by while the president breaks the law and oversteps his authority as outlined in our Constitution, a Constitution he swore an oath to uphold just 1 week ago.
The acting head of the Office of Management and Budget, which oversees the federal budget, said the money would be put on hold to ensure it aligned with the president's priorities, including executive orders he signed ending diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. New York Attorney General Letitia James said 20 states, including New York, were blocked from Medicaid's payment system, a public health insurance program for low-income people. The White House said Medicaid was exempted and no payments had been affected. Georgetown University law professor Stephen Vladek said the funding halt runs afoul of Congress's legislative control of public funding.
This is a nuclear-tipped broadsword. And to allow this kind of program to go forward would not just have immediate, harsh, deleterious effects on all kinds of segments of society. It would really pretty radically reorient the separation of powers in this country away from the legislature and toward the executive.
Vladek said he expects the administration to walk back the policy or lose in court. The US Justice Department, which would defend the policy in court, did not immediately respond to requests for comment.
Microsoft and OpenAI are probing if data from the ChatGPT maker was obtained in an unauthorized manner by a group linked to Chinese AI startup DeepSeek. That's according to a Bloomberg report published Tuesday. The report says that Microsoft security researchers observed several months ago that individuals they believed to be connected to DeepSeek exfiltrated a large amount of data using OpenAI's application programming interface. The API is the main way that software developers and business customers buy services from OpenAI, which counts Microsoft as its largest investor. Bloomberg reported that the Windows maker notified the company of suspicious activity. Low-cost Chinese AI startup DeepSeek, an alternative to US rivals, sparked a major tech stock sell-off earlier this week. Its free AI assistant overtook OpenAI's ChatGPT on Apple's App Store in the US. David Sachs, the White House's AI and crypto czar, told Fox News on Tuesday that it was possible that DeepSeek stole intellectual property from the US. Asked for comment on the Bloomberg report, an OpenAI spokesperson echoed Sachs's comments without actually naming the Chinese firm. Microsoft declined to comment, while DeepSeek could not immediately be reached for comment.
The return of supersonic air travel just might have come a step closer.
There we are. XB-1 is supersonic, faster than the speed of sound.
US startup Boom Supersonic sent its XB-1 jet through the sound barrier on Tuesday. It says the test flight over the Mojave Desert marked the first time any privately funded plane has hit the landmark speed. Legendary pilot Chuck Yeager was the first human to exceed the sound barrier back in 1947. Such speeds have since become routine for many military aircraft. But supersonic travel hasn't been on offer to airline passengers for some 2 decades. That is, since the Anglo-French Concorde was retired in 2003. Its success was limited by high operating costs that made tickets very expensive. Now Boom has plans to develop a successor. Dubbed Overture, it's meant to carry up to 80 passengers across the Atlantic in about 3.5 hours. That's roughly half the time taken by a regular jet. Company CEO Blake Scholl says regulations are now the main stumbling block.
Today we have one of the silliest rules in the world, which is you can't fly supersonic over land, no matter how quiet the airplane is. And so we're picking up where Concorde left off. Initially, we'll fly right under the speed of sound over land, which is still 20% faster than a Boeing or Airbus. And over the water, we'll open up the throttles and go twice as fast.
Boom hopes those regulations will change and says Overture will be much more economical to operate than Concorde. The firm has completed construction on a factory for the new plane in Greensboro, North Carolina. It says it has 130 orders and expressions of interest from American Airlines, United Airlines and Japan Airlines. But years of research and development still lie ahead before any passenger boards a supersonic flight.
Luxury giant LVMH is considering bulking up its production capacities in the US. CEO Bernard Arnault on Tuesday praised a wind of optimism in the country that contrasted with the, quote, cold shower of potentially higher corporate taxes in France. LVMH makes billions selling made-in-France luxury goods to the world. So far, it has little production capacity in the US, besides 3 Louis Vuitton workshops and some Tiffany jewellery making sites. But Arnault, who is also LVMH's main shareholder, said he was open to increasing the company's footprint. His family attended President Donald Trump's inauguration earlier this month, sitting just a few meters from Trump's lectern alongside other billionaires. He said US-based factories benefit from attractive tax conditions and that Trump is encouraging investments. France's richest man has also voiced frustration about his home country's recent plans to additionally tax large companies. The US market accounts for 25% of group sales. Arnault's comments came as LVMH posted a slight rise in fourth quarter sales. The luxury bellwether beat expectations with a 1% rise in sales as demand for designer fashion and handbags picked up over the holiday season. Sales for the 3 months to the end of December reached nearly $25 billion.